eventually actually push, and anyways get kills. So if they can set up kills like that around the towers and then get a push going, perhaps team fights are going to be tough still. Mira will still be fine.
Yeah, Iceberg, he wanted to make something happen there, but he's not able to. Another pause.
Look at this. You see this B2 is TPing mid. He sees a Storm Spirit with 900 mana, but he has a haste.
I don't know. What do you think? Do you think he's going to make it in time? You think he can do it?
I mean, haste. He's got the bottle going. He's gonna live with just a little bit of HP off of the actual ulti. Iceberg has no step. 4 seconds. I don't think he's gonna get it, but maybe we'll see.
All right.
It's a lot of missing mana. There's a chance.
And you have Storm still as well, but
yeah,
this could be very, very good for TSpirit if he makes this rotation and he doesn't actually get anything off of it. That's time that he could have been hitting creeps and farming. We'll have to see how it all goes down.
That's a nice thing about being AM in these type of games when you are playing versus that Storm, as we said. You don't your team fight contribution. You show up, just mana void, done. Okay, I go back to farming. Bye bye. So it can work out pretty nicely if he is able to actually get this one. We're gonna have to see.
Well, indeed. So, on one side of the coin, right, you've got Yatro, who is doing very, very well with his Wraith King. I think he has like, what, 4 or 5 kills underneath his belt at this point. But on the other flip side of the things, Anti-Mage is also farming quite well. So do they get a certain amount of security knowing that their Wraith King is ahead? Or is it still just almost the same in the amounts of concern that they have to start pressuring this AM?
They definitely still have to feel the concern of pressuring. Collapse is still having a better game than I thought he was going to, but overall, the threat is still going to be looming. You've got a Storm versus Anti-Mage. They have great team fight. That's like, keep reiterating on Navi. They have a good lineup around that Anti-Mage to be able to battle at all stages. If AM gets to a point where he's online, the game is going to be extremely difficult. 30 minutes, if they aren't already, if Spirit isn't like completely taking over the map with BKB Storm Spirit, this game is going to be pretty impossible. It's going to start getting real.
Yeah, I was about to ask about, the threat of BKB Storm Spirit for sure, but again, they have such incredible team fight coming out from the side of Navi. If they can get some of these little pickoffs as well, it's going to make it a lot easier for them to be able to make space for the Anti-Mage and then eventually, take that really nice fight where they're just a bit, I don't even want to say behind, but just not as powerful and not with the right tools to deal with what they have to bring to the table.
Are you okay?
Yeah, Spirit it's going to be get maybe 1 or 2 early towers, take maybe not like a big team fight, but these pick-off fights, and then get a Rosh. And then you really have to press the advantage with that Rosh because they have the slaughter, so they'll be able to take it pretty easily, and they'll be able to actually push their advantage for. Yeah, we'll see if they can. It's gonna be a tough task, and we've seen V-Tune do some miraculous stuff when he's on these type of matchups. Yeah, versus Storm or PLs in some proper scenarios. He's waiting in the wings.
He's still here. Gone to Tokyo, though, doesn't feel like he wants to take this bait, so just gonna back off. And Anti-Mage rotates here. He'll take some of the creeps here from Iceberg, but he's going to just head right back to these camps. Go back to what he does best, hitting creeps.
Yep. Roger. DP's mid, refills bottle. Ramses is actually able to stay bottom for a second rather than just chain dying to this Cold Feet Wraith King combo over and over again. Pushka is actually starting to get some stacks going so they can get that quick item timing, that quick Orchid. That'll also be a big one. If Tokyo is able to get his in the next few moments, you do a lot with Orchid versus the Void Spirit versus the Anti-Mage. It shut down those cores pretty significantly. Still a bit away from it though.
All right. We have a smoke coming out from the side of Navi. Mira goes forward in position. Trying to see if he can spot any ganks. It's not, although, no. Iceberg, smoke's going to pop. Mira walking into Roger. Gonna try, but he does get taunted. That Collapse is here, but he's gonna get glimpsed away. Snowball coming out, though, will provide Mira a little bit more time. As now that Storm gets dropped over onto Collapse. Roger does go down because Toronto Tokyo has made his own rotation. This is not looking good for the Slaughter, though. He is going to go. The rest of the team here over on the side of Spirit. Not looking to engage now. They dropped the old monkey banana phone.
Yeah. Navi got what they really wanted, that actual Slardar. Tusk broke it. That was actually great positioning from Mira to that smoke there, but still they were able to get the glimpse, get the connection. Sure, they lose Roger, but they forced reaction, a lot of it.
Now they still have Arena over here on Ramses. They're gonna jump forward though, hoping that they can just burst him down fast. And the Arena does go off, but he gets hit with the snowball. And Ramses is going to go down here. Mira looks like he possibly next. Does get the Walrus Punch off. Might actually be able to get denied by Roshan. In fact, indeed he will. Curse Crown will proc over on the Ancient Apparition as put into place. The Bedlam comes out, and V2 just saunters on over and finds himself a kill on Toronto Tokyo. Where was he just farming over there?
I think he's just escaping from everything that happened, and V2 just blinks and gets on top of him. Great job from the A, coming in, cleaning up. That's exactly what he needs to do, and Ramses gets the ult off. He doesn't die initially, actually gets them 2 kills in a Roche kill onto that Tusk. Not bad. Bad for Na'Vi.
They take this.
Dire's top tower is
Level 10 now over on Wraith King's got his armlet finished up, is working on the Radiance next.
fortified.
We'll still have good timing. Tokyo got slowed down a lot there, though. He would have had his Orchid if he gets away there, and then he'd be able to make some big play for the next thing. Now it's going to be delayed a little bit. Gives Na'Vi a little bit more time. And the time has been bought pretty much for that Battle Fury. It's about to be finished up, so I am still in a good position, and TSpirit unable to really knock on towers too much. Collapse is really trying up top. He'll probably be able to get this one soon, and that's going to give himself his Blink Dagger, and that's going to help a lot. So Blink, Orchid, they're going to have a lot of different ways to make plays now on Spirit and look for these catches that they need to start getting.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if once the Blink Dagger gets picked up here on Collapse, and again, there it is. He's picked it up now. With that Orchid on Storm, I just think they become AM hunters. What do you think? I mean, AM hunters, or you know, it would be nice if you can grab Iceberg, but I think the big target, #1, is of course V2. So smoke coming out now. On the side of Spirit.
V2 and Iceberg. And so the Iceberg does have his ult finished up at a good timing to be able to protect himself too, and he does have the backup of his team right next to him. Power Rune. Bottom.
Yeah, there's the show of the link, the jump forward. Oh, look at the static storm, so they get the kill on Iceberg. But there are 4 heroes over here stuck in the static storm. They'll end up losing Toronto Tokyo. Ramses, though, will be next to fall as that Fear coming in here. Mira forced back. Yatro, he's still ready. He's looking, was hoping. Ice Crush coming out here from Collapse. They always want to fly out. Good glimpse back, though, will buy them a bit more time. Roger, not looking too healthy here, though, as Collapse will just kite him. And down goes the Dark Willow.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It was a 4-man static storm on top of the Marzel, and it didn't matter. The Bruisers, they're just too tanky. The Slaughter, the Tusk, the Wraith King, they sit in the front line. Sure, Storm does die, but they get the tower, they get what they came for, and they even ate all the ultimates. Beautiful. Great jump onto Iceberg.
Very nice play now coming out from TSpirit. We talked about them needing momentum, and I would say that they're doing a pretty okay job. They get these picks. Yeah, look at so this is the other fight. This is the one with the 4 people in that static storm. They're getting that denial here. On.
We had to see Ramses. You know, he survived for a moment there, but a great hit from Spirit. Relic already finished. This bottom lane is honestly, they owned so hard. 6-0-3, AA Wraith King. This is maybe why we're seeing a rise in that AA too, just how strong you actually can be just in lane, just maxing cold feet. You know, it works so well, the combo between the two of them. They've just set up your Toro for a pretty damn good game. This Radiance is going to be so early with Armlet. We see the crits, you know, with the Slaughter, you see how much damage he actually can do.
That, you have to give some credit here to Maposhka because, you know, AA, he's got to be so careful with his positioning, especially when you're up against a Dark Willow who has pretty good range. He did manage to, you know, help get these kills and not even really trade either. A lot of it was just him sitting really far back. I think the one time he died in lane was when Ramses snuck around the side because he had his arena up and running. So it was an ultimate use for him. I think you're okay with that.
Yeah, and he was super low. He had to like reset out of the lane anyway at that point. So yeah, he's really done an excellent job and great aggressive plays and great aggressive wards coming out from TSpirit so far. And yeah, just continue to apply this pressure. So Na'Vi probably feeling a little shaken up after that last fight when they connected everything and it still did not go well.
Yeah, it was a beautiful static storm. Just unfortunately they were relying a lot on Iceberg to be most of the damage, but if he gets picked off first, it makes things a bit more difficult.
Bottom tower has fallen.
They have to park someone else on the front lines. Iceberg has to probably sit a little bit further back. They look fragile. Whenever you're playing versus AA, it seems like everybody can look fragile. Just the extra little damage, that extra little pump up from both the Vortex and the Blast. Just, yeah, even a tanky hero like Mars just does not look tanky anymore.
When the God of War doesn't even look tanky, you know there's a problem.
Spirit sticking together. Toronto Tokyo knows exactly the timing that he needs to go for this game. The items queued up. He's got the Orchid straight into the BKB. No funny business. Good stuff from Spirit so far. Now, they've got Radiance, so they've done pretty much all that they needed to do. And now the next target, as we said earlier, try to secure a Roshan. And they're going to be able to kill it really fast. It's level 12 on the Slardar, so level 2 for Rosabase. And he just finished up the medallion, so this Rosh is just gone.
Gosh, look at these big chunks of him just being eked out. My goodness. And of course, they have one of the best Aegis carriers in the game, TSpirit. So I would not be surprised to see TSpirit start to crank up that aggression even more than what they've already put on this map.
Yep, pretty much anybody you see now, you're going to be jumping. You're not going to really care too much of that big Navi team fight anymore. Go for top tower if they can, perhaps. Maybe they can get the tier 2 nice and early on.
I'm sure they'd like to secure themselves that outpost as well, so. You see the forward places. I like this. I like the way that you've got 2 heroes right up there that are scouting out the tier 2. Oh, over in the mid lane to jump forward. He's got a Yules, but I don't think that's going to be enough to save him. Not when those shards come through. So Toronto Tokyo will go down, and Yatoro takes the tower, and I have a feeling we're going to see him wander over towards this mid tower as well now.
Yep, just keep battling. Navi is pretty broken at the moment now. Both Ramses as well as Iceberg, time and time again, have just died when they've shown their faces. I think Spirit's really starting to run away with this game. Toronto Tokyo also finds himself a regen rune, so he's really ready to go. And B-Tune, he still does not have Manta, so he's not ready to join with his team too much yet, as he's walking right into them.
Walks right into them. That Static Storm, it doesn't manage to catch anyone here as the snowball bounces right back over here onto the side. They're going to try to fight Always Want to Fly as everyone else is trying to TP out. It looks like this Disruptor, he's already used the ultimate, but he's going to go right back to that fountain because he's dead.
I'm getting a
From Tokyo.
They're really starting to dominate. They even have all these wards positioned very deeply as well, so they can see the positioning of anyone. Tokyo, with the regen, he's waiting for V-Tune. Got the Ice Blast going preemptively too.
No.
But he'll both left.
Playing it safe. I like it. Middle tower, though, again, gets crumbled.
They keep pinging. They know where he is. Like the scan coming out now. Collapse.
Already out.
What this anti-mage? Yeah, he'll get out. Now he's got Manta, so now he can actually do stuff to get joined in with his team. But man, the Void Spirit and the Mars are just falling further and further behind, and it's not looking like a game where they're going to recover that easily. Just an overwhelming amount of damage and control that the TSpirit draft does have.
I mean, never say never. This is Dota.
Invisibility.
You never know what can go down. But yeah, they're looking real pretty. Everything that they need to. Oh, and eventually they do manage to find B2. Manta's gonna come out. Nice terrorize here. Tossed out as well. Mira hoping he can grab someone here. It's gonna get arena here by Ramses, but he's got the snowball. He's absolutely fine. Walrus punch. Is it now Ramses that's trapped in the arena with Mira? And now, of course, you've got Toronto Tokyo zipping on, and they even toss out the tip.
That's what happens when you use a spear.
I mean,
instantly.
Oh, a little. All right. Yeah, throw. Tip and Mira there.
And this is continuing to look really difficult. Navi, even though the initiation is not perfect from Spirit, they cannot fight. They're on just like immediate retreat, needing to wait for a lot longer before the anti-mage actually does want to look to get involved. And they're just hunting him. Look at this Spirit. They just beeline across the map. They have great ward vision outside of the base of Navi, so they know they're all trapped in there. They just need to go anti-mage hunting, like you said earlier. It's the only tool, the only task that they really need to tick off now is just keep hunting him, because he's getting no space.
Look at the way Collapse is giving the creeps such a wide berth so they can't actually see him. They do have a ward over there, though, so. Tune, he shows himself. He's already used the Manta, too.
And he used the Manta.
Oh, I don't think Collapse can make it there in time. An appropriate voice line. Little sass coming out from Anti-Mage. I like it.
BKB for Storm. They've gotten all these big items now. Solar Crest on Slardar, Drums even on the Tusk, BKB Storm. everyone's enabled. Everybody's just ready to go, ready to battle.
boy.
Also has the Saiyans as well too on top. They're just, they're gonna look for these fights and they're gonna be really strong. I don't know how Navi can actually kill almost anybody.
I don't know if Iceberg wants to stay here. All right, they do manage to go and bait this out pretty nicely. And there's gonna be the spears. Only one though that they managed to catch. Followed up with the fear. Mira is going to fall as Toronto Tokyo left into the back lines. They'll find the kill on Iceberg. Tokyo still just flanking away over here at Ramses. He does have the Yules, but there's nothing that V2 can really hope to do over here. As now another spear will connect. On the back lines, Roger is gonna get murdered by Maposhka. And they're gonna retreat behind their tier 2.
They don't have the damage. Even if they connect, again, 3-man Static Storm, I believe it was, with the Mars ulti, they're just too far behind to actually have enough to finish off most of these heroes. Tusk barely actually goes down. Now they gotta be careful of getting reinitiated on.
Yeah, they are. I'm surprised about that. The Aegis does get reclaimed, but always want to fly despite the glimpse back. It is going to fall. You know, it's crazy because I keep seeing Navi, like, they start to smoke up, but the party keeps coming to them almost every single time here on the side of TSpirit. And Yatoro, he does have a blink now. V2, look at how scared he's playing.
Has to be. One stun into a follow-up stun, and he's just dead with an AA blast on. This Wraith King is hitting him so damn hard. AA now hits level 12 too, so more little things that are just making them a little bit stronger on the side of Spirit. And Navi, they're being restricted completely in their base. Like, nobody's farming. Look at Ramses. He literally just has to handhold V2 to make sure that he can protect him. Iceberg can't get any space on the map at all. I feel like we saw him get the Yules at a pretty decent time. I think it was like 12 minutes.
Oh no. Oh, that's a dead always want to fly, and Roger immediately is trying to just run. Oh wait, let's have the Curse Crown over here onto Collapse, so we'll get the stun off. Ice Blast getting tossed out as well. Ramsey's hiding in the tree line, the zip forward. Ice Blast coming in through. It doesn't quite manage to connect though, as they're still trying to get Roger. And again, it's very difficult to take down a Willow, but with a big old Walrus punch, they do manage to get the kill.
All out split push is what it's got to be for Iceberg. Now finally getting a little bit of room, getting closer to his Aghanims. Anti-Mage has to just do split push, quick cut action. Same thing for Ramses. I think just battles are off the menu for a long time now. Until he feels he can actually show up. It's probably going to be, man, maybe when he has the Scotty, but even then, he's going to have to do some weird fighting, just blinking around in and out. Just way too much damage, way too much control. Spirit, 9,000 gold lead. Still looking for kills. And it collapsed, trying to find Ramses, but not quite able to.
I mean, you got to give V2 some credit here. He's doing the best job that he possibly can here with this anti-mage, despite the mobile team coming out from TSpirit. It feels like if you just take one wrong misstep, you are going to get stunned, or you're going to get silenced, or any of these things. It's a very spooky place.
It does feel like that 1v5. Like, they're gonna have to get some beautiful connections of fears, plus wall, and all that, but this anti-mage has a lot of carrying to do.
We get another pause here. Smoke did break on Yatoro. He's right near Ramses. The rest of the team is behind him, and they're not aware of that right now, but if they saw that the smoke broke, this could go the way of Navi, and that either they can just back off, or they can lay the trap.
Yeah, they see the Slaughter or the Solar Crest buff on the Wraith King, so they're probably like, okay, Slaughter's in the area. Let's. I don't. They want to go on this one. This looks like it could be a disaster if they do.
I don't know, Ramses. He's hanging out.
All right. More time.
Back off. Respectable. I can understand that. It's more time for your anti-mage, right? As he is in the bottom lane. He's trying to make some things happen over at Toronto Tokyo, but just not quite able to do it. He's gonna go zip around. Got his BKB just in case here. He's gonna teleport out.
That's the storm. You a storm was coming.
But the tables have turned a little bit here, Fog, because if Toronto Tokyo is all alone, V-Tune is feeling a lot more powerful.
Yeah, when he's got the Manta, you know, it just makes it, that matchup is always a lot easier versus that Storm. It's just if the rest of them are arriving and, oh man, was that like instant Roche spawn? I was looking at the timer, but that, I guess it just came up pretty much right away. Another secured Roche for TSpirit. No way Navi makes it in time.
No way.
Now Aegis Cheese and a Shard that they're gonna deal with.
I think Slardar was considering getting the Shard.
I think he should. It's really strong. Well, I want to say really strong. It's better than it was before. I like it even beforehand.
Right.
It's pretty nice just for that little bit of extra. You don't have to apply the corrosive haze yourself. Just apply the stun.
I mean, it's no Grimstroke shard, but you know, not everything can be
It does make the
super broken.
It does make the radius bigger, which is one of the cool things. Sure, it applies the debuff, but the radius change, it's noticeable. 75 radius, pretty big for Slardart.
Well, again, TSpirit has effectively cut off the map for pretty much everyone on the V except for VTune. So VTune trying his best, has teleported back home though to help defend the base, as most of these creep waves are of course pushed in except for the bottom one. It is going to become a bit of an issue for them. They do have an anti-mage problem.
Yeah, just a little bit of an issue with the waves. Looks like they're finishing up that next big item on the Wraith King. I guess he wants that AC before they actually look to break high ground, but it's going to be time to break high ground for them. They've got these BKBs, they've got all these, they've got like almost everything at the ready for them now on Spirit. BKB, you know, would be wanted for Slardart, but that's going to take time for later, so I think they can still look to apply that big pressure. V2's almost ready. He's almost got his Scotty. He's almost tanky enough to maybe join into fray. Iceberg has finally finished Ags too, so there's some slight, very slight hope for Na'Vi as Spirit still in commanding lead.
It is pretty scary when you take a look at those net worths. Obviously, you know, you've got Yatoro at the top, 20k, and V2, you know, he's put up a great fight. He's at 16, but then the next two, 13 and 12. And then you look over at the next highest on the side of Na'Vi, and they're just so much further behind. I don't know. I think it's still, like you said, there's the possibility, and it is Dota. Anything is absolutely possible, but it feels like an uphill climb. Even if they manage to take down the Wraith King once, can they take him down a second time? Yeah, or even the Storm, you know? I think that's the thing about when you get so much overwhelming map control. It's like these Aegis and Cheeses, they really start to make things so difficult, especially when you're playing with a big team fight lineup. Because then, you know, you throw your everything, and then they just respawn and you don't actually have everything available. While we look at Spirit, their draft isn't like that. They're not really that big cooldown reliant. They're all about like the jump in, get the kill, jump in, get another, jump in, get another. Na'Vi, when they commit, it's a full commit. Right. Well, Scotty is completed now for the anti-mage, but he is going to have to be doing some skirmishing in and out of these battles, as he just isn't tanky enough to deal with the bigger boys, I guess, on this map right now.
Just look at this Wraith King, 43 armor when he's buffed up with Solar Crest. Sure, you're going to be annoying him and tickling with this mana burn and slowing him down with Scotty, but he's going to hit you back, and you're not going to hit him for almost anything with his armor.
Yeah. Is the big boy in front leading the charge. Okay, there's going to be a silence immediately, but look at this. Yatoro just giggles to himself. He says, yeah, all right, cool. I'm just going to keep hitting these buildings. Take a little nap here now that I'm stunned. Maposhka is nearby, providing a little bit of that support, but they have to be so scared, right? Because Yatoro can just hit their towers, take very minimal amounts of damage. Like, they really have to focus him down, and at any moment, Collapse could just jump on in on top of them, and Ice Blast come out. You could have the Storm zipping through. It's just, the counter initiation is terrifying.
Yeah, and then he dies so fast.
Oh, like that, like Ramses. Just, I think he was there a second ago, and they're just taking a bath in the static storm. They don't care. That's a big ultimate that's down now, and they got nothing for it.
It's minus 21 armor. Actually, sorry, minus 26 armor with the AC aura. So anyone who shows just gets absolutely eviscerated from one crit from that Wraith King.
And Lord knows he's got crits.
And they're finishing up these next items too, while applying this pressure, while keeping Na'Vi in their base. Aghanim is about to be finished. Storm, Flutter almost BKB.
Ooh, he's in. He's in. Always want to fly. Absolutely eviscerated. Like you said, Roger's going to be the next one to go down. Buyback now from Roger. Wants to get himself back into the fight, but I'm not sure what he can hope to really do here as V2 just trying to get some of these creeps away. Ice Blast, though, they jump right in over here onto V2. Ice Blast does connect with the Terrorize. Buys a little bit more time. The Silence comes out here from Toronto Toki. Drags him back. It's a double kill as they take down the AM. Ramsey's trying to do anything he can over here on the back line, trying to get a kill. He's even used the BKB. Roger goes down, though, while this is happening. And Iceberg will fall next as they are just chasing them down. GG gets called, and TSpirit playing their draft absolutely perfect.
Yeah, well said. I don't really see almost any mistakes coming up from TSpirit this game. This was some flawless execution from them, doing exactly the way they need to play versus this anti-mage and Na'Vi. You know, Ramses and Iceberg, the two of them, they just got owned this game. Like, after that, like, first, even in the beginning, actually, like 12
the need to go from a potion kill. He ends up getting killed as well, and it's just been catastrophic ever since that first couple deaths that affected the laning stage. And ultimately, this happens many more times. We don't have time to watch all this. This turns into a really fast Wraith King Radiance at 17 minutes. Orchid is also out on Storm, which means that Storm's ability to lock down and kill Anti-Mage is a threat on the map. So with the now Aegis that they're about to get in about 10 seconds, and now Anti-Mage's lack of Battle Fury, or sorry, his lack of Manta Style, it basically just restricts Navi really hardly on the map. Like, this is their safe zone. It was over here to the right, which just isn't as much of space that Anti-Mage would like to be able to get around the map. So eventually what happens is he's like, there's no creeps left. I have to go for a creep wave. He ends up running into the enemy team. This ends up with some supports dying, which isn't always the best thing for your team when you're trying to accelerate. And yeah, he's got Manta at this point, but the tempo was just firmly in Spirit's hand, and really it just started from that initial disconnect in the Navi offlane. So can't make that mistake again.
Thank you, Purge. Wonderful job, as always, of being able to break down the games and show you exactly how it all starts. And that laning phase was absolutely a big reason why it was such a one-sided game to the favor of TSpirit. But that is fortunately easily corrected, right? Laning phase problems. It happens. We'll see what happens going into game 2 and whether or not Navi can correct those behaviors. We'll be right back after the break.
with the AM, so you know, to give Na'Vi credit, probably wasn't their first choice. Maybe they felt, you know, they sort of run out of ideas. So we'll see. I'd be interested to see if we see Na'Vi prioritize maybe VTune's hero a little earlier in the draft. We're seeing already they're going to open up with a bit of the same style that Spirit did. They're going to scared. You don't like this? I mean, for Spirit, it looked good. As I say, Toronto, Tokyo, I can trust it, but Iceberg is a different situation. Or
Iceberg Storm is fantastic, but it's just a bit reactive.
Sure.
You know, you've had how much time to prepare? I guess in their case, only max 10 days, right? But you're telling me that, you know, you had a plan how we're going to pick Anti-Mage because they have Storm, and oh, you know what, guys, Storm's stronger than we thought. We'll first pick it. I never liked that style. And I think that Spirit, if there's any hero you would expect Na'Vi to first pick here, it's probably either Tusk or Storm. I would imagine they have their 1-2 prepared in response.
Well, it's going to be the Void Spirit that... Isn't that kind of a rough matchup?
I think so.
I think it is, phase, really, because you step up, sure, you're blocking the physical, but Storm's got a whole load of magical. You're going to be in range for a Remnant and a pullback with a Vortex into it. Yeah, I don't think the lane is too easy at all. You've got to make sure you don't feed, and you are going to rely on making sure you get the rune control. You know, you want to make sure you don't hit your 6 a lot slower than the Storm is, so that you're able to use the power of the hero against the other lanes, or against the Storm if somehow you can get enough denies and hold the lane, so you can get a move before he gets Bull Lightning online. But it's definitely not easy. It is, of course, you know, one of Toronto Tokyo's top heroes. He was super smooth on it last season.
Yeah, and it goes to show a lot of confidence, right? I mean, he's got to have his input on his hero, and he's saying, you know what? I'll take Iceberg on either side of this matchup.
That's great. I did not consider Void Spirit that high of a priority, personally.
I think it's different when for Toronto. As Spirit doing this last season, they'd love to get their mid.
If it was the opposite day, I'd probably have real analysis. Let's get with Cap.
All right, Phoenix is going to be good. The pickup here for Na'Vi, which I don't love, I don't hate. It's okay.
Yeah, it's always want to fly. This is his hero. He's got, I believe, over 1,000 games. Might be closing in on 1,500. He's second or third most played on the hero in professional play. And with with Storm, I'm a big fan because, you know, you've got this core hero that's going to scale and typically look to make plays a screen away. Phoenix gives you this ability to follow up with the Storm, add a bit of damage, sure, but mostly provide that makes it significantly more difficult to counter-initiate onto the Storm Spirit, which is the dream. You lack that team fight, especially if you're first picking Storm out the gate. Like that they ban Wraith King, make Yatoro play something else, especially if they're going to keep banning carries.
It's dwindling here. There's a little bit of me that would kind of like to see Spirit go, hey, you know what? We'll show you how the anti-mage is done. You don't think they would? I'd like to see them do that. We'll say, hey, Na'Vi, this is how it's done.
No,
what? You just don't like the hero, or
you've got karma on your side, right?
You don't want to become the.
You don't want to be those guys like, we're gonna pick Anti-Mage back. We're better than you, because then you get into a third game scenario and you just feel silly. I think AM is definitely strong. I've been reading a bunch, talked to a couple players who think it's going to be something we see more this season, and I agree. I think we were just talking about the shard backstage. It's very good. Reduce it, basically 2 talents in 1 shard, or 2 old talents. The blink CD reduction and a little bit of extra range, but I'm just not a believer. I think that the patch right now rewards fast play. Like, they took a Roche at 17 minutes with Wraith King having armlet. Thanks to the starter buff, he literally was tanking Roche a bit and healing and staying full HP because of how much he was getting lifesteal.
I mean, what carries that? Ursa still in the pool? You fan of Ursa? Take down the egg.
It's all right. I'm not a huge fan. Same reason I don't like it against Undying, because in theory you can kill it, but that means that your hard carry, you know, your battlefield hero, is dealing with this immovable structure. You know, maybe you're killing a support, sure, but that's your entire open. You know, are you really going to want a BKB to kill a 5-position egg?
I was going to say Troll.
Bang, bang.
The reason why, he's got a fancy shard.
That's true.
What His problem is he pops ultimate, right? And he can't actually target some of these structures. He has to hit a hero. Well, he can actually use his shard ability, which gives everyone else attack speed.
Absolutely. Well, plus 70, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's actually, it's
either
Battle Frenzy, I think.
Yeah.
Something. It's really good, actually, against Egg.
Absolutely.
Pretty sick.
It's a long cooldown, which is the downside, but, you know, it's shorter than Egg, so, you know, you're going to have it up for Supernova. Or at least it's very similar to Supernova.
And if you buy an Axe, the defensive Dispel, when you pop Axes, is pretty cool as well.
Yeah. I think,
against Orchid and the Fire Spirit.
When you consider all the carries that were banned out, Troll was... Yeah, that's the one left that's solid as ever.
That's probably why they third pick it, too, because really,
you're running out.
what are you left with? You don't want to pick a Spectre into these heroes, and outside of him, I just don't see anything that's super meta at the moment.
I mean, talking about Spectre, do you think Na'Vi want to pick a Spectre?
It's not bad. I'm a big fan of Spectre Storm as a combo. Old Fnatic, now EG, like to run it quite a bit. It's all right against Void Spirit and Willow, but Troll can move a little faster than you.
I don't like it just because you don't see the support duo yet, right? And Willow already has an escape against both of those heroes, right?
Yeah. I would take your 4 position here. I think Earth Spirit in the pool would make the most sense to me. Is Tusk still available?
Yeah.
Tusk is still available.
Either one works.
Pango is still available.
We shall see. They're taking a lot of time, though. This is.
What do you think about Axe? Axe against Troll. Axe has been picked up a little bit more. It's a classic combo with Phoenix as well.
Your first pick, you just take your 4 position.
Sure,
I don't think you want to complicate things. I can see Axe definitely being solid, but that's why I'm concerned. You know, Na'Vi, they're running a lot of time off the clock, and you gotta figure this is just the support. Unless they, to your point, think that the offlane pool is also limited enough. There's no Centaur, Mars, or Puck. I guess you're not really running.
I mean,
Puck, but...
I think they do have to. You got to think about that lane, because we saw last game, right? Ramses did not have an easy time. This time he's laning against the Troll, an incredibly strong laner. Shadow Demon. I mean, this is some kite and control for the Troll.
Maybe a Luna.
I mean, this does lead the way of potentially a sort of a ranged agi carry, Luna, Drow, something along those lines. If they want to go that way.
Neither, all
TB,
three, not great against Troll though.
5 seconds remaining.
You shall see.
Wouldn't mind seeing. I don't know if he plays a lot of it. How good's the Ramses Pango?
Oracle.
I would imagine it's not bad. I mean, I would trust Ramses to play almost anything, but you're gonna go straight for a morph. That is that's even better, actually. We talked about the Manta being buffed.
Yeah.
It's pretty much tailor-made for Morph. He also had the change to the attribute shift, which some players consider a buff, even if you do have to worry about your mana pool. Really good damage amp. And the burst now, you know, an ST Disrupt into Soul Catcher Wave through E-Blade combo is pretty much a soul kill on anybody. And it's a high reach against these 2 backline supports that can just explode.
So this does explain, that Oracle pickup does explain why Na'Vi took so much time, right? They read the Oracle pickup, and that's why they grabbed the Shadow Demon, right? So they were discussing, they got Troll, they're going to do an Oracle Troll combo. What do we do about this? And they had to find a solution early on. I like the fact that they were able to come up with something that I feel counters it quite well.
10 seconds remaining.
Why do you say that? Just because you removed the Edict?
5 seconds.
You remove the heal as well.
Oh, it's a good point.
When you're purged,
even when
heal,
ulted,
you only take damage.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Because I'm like, what do you mean, Cap? That doesn't get rid of ultimate. But yeah, you have a really good point. Because it gets rid of everything. The salves, the urn. Okay, that is really cool. Yeah.
Let's get rid of Salve.
I would assume, yeah, it's dispellable, right?
Salve is dispellable.
I think so. I think Paul might be right on this.
I never knew that.
Na'Vi's turn to battle.
I feel like it has to. It's a positive buff. It's like regen runes dispellable. It's the same concept.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right, Carl.
They ban out Axe themselves. Good choice. I think that hero for both sides would be quite strong here. Na'Vi, of course, will have the selection out of this phase, and then Spirit will have overall last pick. Do keep in mind that Void Spirit could be flexed. It's not a terrible matchup up top.
I think it'll be unlikely, though. I would be surprised. I mean, because we already said, right, that I mean, sure, it's not great against Storm, but I don't think it's going to be a matchup that Toronto Tokyo is going to feel too scared to play.
I don't know if that's the right choice, though, for Na'Vi with that ban of the Sand King. I'd be more afraid of this ranged spellcaster. We talked about, I mean, I would say Necrophos would be ideal, but into ST Storm, it's a little tricky.
You don't want Necrophos in as much magic, do you? You're going to get blown up.
This concept of a hero, like, I'd rather see a Viper or a Pugna, right, than a melee initiator style. Because I think that you already have enough catch just because you have this Void Spirit. This Troll is going to be looking to play aggressive. You don't have late game. So if I'm Spirit, I'm setting up an offlaner that's going to be more of a damage dealer.
You know, it'd be super tricky if they did 3 Void Spirit. And then you know what they do. Mid Huskar.
Huskar's pretty. He's back
Huskar
right now.
Oracle with a shard as well that reduces regen on a hero like Morphling.
Yeah, Huskar.
I dig that. I like that the most.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Because that's the thing. So I'm thinking, to your point, the heroes I want to see picked for the off lane are more 2 styles. So a better choice could be, just put Void Spirit off lane and pick one of these, you know, damage dealers. Synergize with the Oracle. A Death Prophet's not terrible either. That's still available. But yeah, I agree. Most value out of a mid.
I wouldn't like it for any of a hero, but for Huskar, I'd be down for moving the Void Spirit to the sideline if I want to go Huskar.
But that's just because, as you said, for Toronto Tokyo, you really like.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to want to play Void Spirit regardless. That would be the one situation if they want to do the Huskar route.
How things have changed with when Na'Vi had General, first pick Beastmaster. With Ramses, all the way to last pick.
I mean, there was a patch that happened as well. Beastmaster is an entirely different kind of hero now.
I mean, I have similar. We'll wait till Europe comes up. On the broadcast for me to bring up another roster change that makes less sense. And so that's a nice pick, actually. Pretty good lane against the Morphling. Percent-based damage, very good against the Beastmaster. The root is excellent against the Phoenix and the Storm. So not like basically the same hero type as like we were talking about Viper Pugna, because it's damage. That's what Underlord can really provide you, and not bad. Teamfight item buyer.
Reset against the Phoenix egg as well, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes he just pops the egg and you just like, okay. We're calling it on this team fight. Let's call a taxi home, everybody. Okay, well, it sounds like to me you guys are kind of leaning towards TSpirit again. Yeah?
I'd say so.
I think it's definitely closer. I like this draft from Na'Vi much more than the anti-mage line that they came in with the first game, but I don't know, there's something about just leaving it to last, getting this last pick Beastmaster for Ramsey. I'm just a little concerned. I was underwhelmed, of course, by the performance from the 2 of them on that bottom lane last game, and I don't quite know if they're going to have the tools to do anything that much better. I think the Troll, strong laner, Spirit, with the way that they played last game, they're going to be able to deal with whatever Na'Vi throw at them, and whilst I don't think it'll be as one-sided as game 1, I think Spirit will still take this match.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that duo, right? Shadow Demon Beastmaster, that's going to require a lot of coordination.
Yeah, I'm not sold on this Na'Vi lineup, and I just once again think that they're picking real complex concepts to try and win games with for a team that can't have had enough practice to feel comfortable with it for this new season.
Okay,
Spirit.
Fair enough. All right. Both sides going TSpirit, and we'll have to see if it is actually going to be 2-0 or if we're going to be seeing a Game 3 Na'Vi. Our hopes on the major. It all starts at the beginning of the season. Weirdly enough, every single series matters, and of course, every single caster matters as well. We've got Moxie, we've got Fog to take us through this story.
Oh, I'm really feeling the love. Thanks, Cap. Feeling that love all the way over there, Fogged.
I am. I love everyone. I miss everyone.
I know. We miss you too, buddy. Hopefully. Fingers crossed, everybody. Keep your fingers crossed for Fogged. But yeah, so game number 1 looking very much like a textbook kind of style play coming out from TSpirit. We've got game number 2, though. And, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to crush the lanes quite as hard as they were able to in game number 1.
No, but the bottom lane could still be, the safe lane for the side of Spirit could still be amazing again. Like Miposhka and Yatoro had some excellent synergy, and I love the duo they got right now. We've got Oracle Troll versus probably Beastmaster Shadow Demon. Sounds like a really good lane for the Oracle and the Troll. Sounds really tough for the Na'Vi side. Shadow Demon, a hero that it's just weird. I don't know how I feel about this hero right now too, because he hasn't really gotten enough love. I feel he got some slight changes, but nothing too dramatic.
What would you have preferred to see, perhaps laning with this Beastmaster?
I mean, just like a more aggressive hero. I don't know. like this weird 4 because it's a 4 position without a disable. You play more reliantly about like saving and playing maybe with like soul catch and stuff to burst heroes, but it just, I don't know, hero just feels a little lackluster as a 4. Iceberg, they might actually just get him here.
They get the root into place, followed up with that Aether Remnant, dragging him right back in again, and they try to use these brambles to their advantage. And Iceberg, he's very good at navigating the maze, but it's still going to be Toronto-Tokyo. Gets the first blood, and that feels very good. Taking down the enemy mid laner and getting a little something for yourself, too.
Yeah, now he just buys a stick immediately. So the lane, last time we saw the Storm do very well versus that Void Spirit, we could see a difference just because of being able to start with a little bit more mana, a little bit more things to play around with it. Just off of the bat, they're getting that kill. Seeing themselves they're trying to set up for 3 or 4 bounties. They should actually get themselves the 3 at the least. And maybe, oh my god, always want to fly.
Yeah, he is not looking great here because they've got plenty of lockdown. Is forced to take the Icarus dive early. That is not what you want to grab as a Phoenix player.
No, that is quite brutal for sure. That's going to hurt V-Tune's lane quite a bit. He's not going to be able to apply nearly as much pressure to Collapse, and Collapse should get away with the lockdown here. So, all right, again, TSpirit setting themselves up for pretty good success start of this game. All 3 lanes should have pretty solid stuff going on here. Iceberg should still win that mid matchup, but that stick, little things do make a difference.
They do indeed. Now, as a Phoenix player, I have to ask you, Puck, because you're obviously an expert here. Is it better to have just died there than to have picked up the Icarus dive?
Oh god, it wasn't first blood, so maybe honestly, but you know what? Oh, he took it. It's tough to really just say straight up there that it's gonna hurt the laning phase. Morphling's gotten a little bit like buffed and nerfed, right? The attribute shift is actually a lot better now at the start, so he should be able to just farm down here fine. It's not like the Phoenix has to beat or the zone these heroes out that much.
But it does feel very difficult for V-Team because already the Phoenix sitting so low is forced to use all of that regen. And speaking of needing regen in that middle lane, Iceberg not looking too healthy here either. It's very close to the bottle, luckily, but that's definitely feeling like, yeah, I always want to fly.
He actually got him. Oh my god.
There's a courier kill as well in the top lane. Ramsey's courier will go down to Miposhka.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Already a bit of a spiral out of control, at least in the small moments. As we got him. Yeah, V-Tune, if the lane positioning starts to if it starts pushing too far forward, this is going to be really difficult for that Morph to get too far. This is where Atrophy Aura really starts to just be excellent. And V-Tune, he's actually skilled Adaptive Strike at level 2. Gets caught in Bramble.
Looking a little suspect here. They had just a little bit more damage. They would have gotten themselves a kill.
So close. Mira was actually just shy of the mana to have Shadow Realm. Otherwise, that was going to be a kill. Yeah, that was... Oof. And they're just going to continue the spam onto them, too. They're very low on regen down bottom as well on both of these heroes. This a great lane for TSpirit again, and they're going to be able to slow down V-Tune.
This definitely is not the way that Navi wanted to start their game off.
Definitely not. But, things like that happen. You're forced to skill Icarus dive to survive. You get killed anyway.
Yeah.
You're going to have to accept the fact that it might be a little bit of a difficult one, but he's getting these last hits.
Okay, free TP at the very least, right?
Yeah.
Gotta look on the bright side of things.
TPs are real valuable now. I definitely have noticed a lot of times where players are caught in positions where they're just like, oh my god, I didn't buy a TP leaving. You just forget sometimes now.
Well, then they're so expensive now for the supports.
Yeah.
It is, we're not seeing those rotations quite as often just because of the fact that, TPs are so costly.
You know what? Good. Remember the days of 135 gold TPs, and now everyone can suffer as well. That's top. A nice block actually from Roger. The Shadow Poisons almost picking out.
Yeah, it's gotta be careful. It's a 5th one on him. Yeah. Nicely done by Roger. Lord knows they need one of their lanes to be going a little bit better.
And it's not an easy lane up top, right? The Troll versus Beastmaster's always been a pretty good Troll. Roger just playing it clutch. This is where the Shadow Demon's a little weird, but he can do some cool plays like that if you see the opportunity. It's gonna get harder though. Fate's Edict maybe get skilled even at level 3 on Miposhka. 3 or 4 he'll have it guaranteed, and then you can't go first nearly as often.
And the amount of nuke damage that an Oracle can output if he decides to go for, the point of Purifying Flames at level 3 is intense. It's a very scary lane.
Especially with Troll. Like Troll, it's just like one of the best pairings with Oracle. You just have so much chase, so much damage, so many different ways to catch it.
Dire's middle tower is
again.
might be able to make...
He's getting a little sick of Roger.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. But he is going to throw out a couple more stacks here. Get a nice netting off, and they'll be able to go use the banishment there over on Teatro, so... Iceberg
disruption
walking
could
all
get
the
a
way
little
home.
annoying this game for sure, especially versus Troll. Like when he does pop the ulti later on, you know, you do have some nice ways to kite him out. They will have problems with catch and just Troll overall though. They have a Beastmaster roar and a Vortex. That's pretty much their two actual stuns in the game versus some pretty elusive heroes on the side.
Oh, again, always want to fly, taking a decent amount of damage, but still has the Icarus dive available. I think the thing I'm concerned about here is, I mean, on both sides, right? Because Moposhka, he is the person that you want to try to grab early on, especially during team fights. You don't want him to be able to save. So you have a Storm Spirit for that. But on the flip side of things, you've got this Void Spirit who's going to be hunting after the Shadow Demon, no doubt. Oh, I think if they have the vision, this is a kill, maybe? No. Nope, don't quite have that vision. Might have been very,
and also,
very close.
For the Storm, it's going to be tough too. Like he wants to get in the backlines, right? But you know that it's very likely that this Underlord, he's going to build the standard items, right? These healing items that a Storm really doesn't like playing versus. Even a little jolt of killing your backline heroes, it trips him up. And he's playing versus lots of roots. Like he's got pits, he's got grapples. There's going to be a lot of things tripping up for that Iceberg Storm in the mid game.
Ooh, the jump over onto V-Tune. He's going to be able to waveform forward. Goes right into the brambles, but is going to survive here.
Underlord pick is working really well in the lane. I love this percent damage and just that little percent reduction damage toward the Morphling too. It's nice.
Definitely helps. 6-minute runes coming up. Roger throws out the disruption. He denies the rune. So it'll be a sad Toronto Tokyo, but Roger's got to be feeling pretty happy with himself. Take some of that anger out over on Iceberg here in the mid lane.
Immediately glyphs the wave too, so with that catapult he's trying to apply good pressure, get some decent damage. Even he's gonna tank the tower. Okay, he's gonna tank with his bottle, wait for the next wave, and he's gonna keep hitting this tower mid. This is a nice move by Toronto.
Goes down for a little vision, goes for a bit of a dive here over onto Iceberg because he knows he's got the catapult. Tower, though. I'll get a shot or two off.
Yeah, he's very safe to do this. 19 wand charges, raindrop. He knows he can push his limits. Gets like half tower. Not bad.
Yeah.
Void Spirit.
Not necessarily the hero you think taking, you know, half a tower right off the bat here. But some smart creep manipulation makes it happen.
Yeah, and he knows he doesn't have to like help the side. How well they're all going. The Troll's doing excellent top. Underlord's doing great bound bottom. So he can just pay attention to his lane rather than making the rotations just yet. Now he's got full bottom. Maybe he can TP if he sees an opportunity.
I think Mira's dead here.
Do his own thing.
Oh no! Last second gets into the fountain there with the TP. Very close. Couple of stacks of Shadow Poison over on Teatro. That'll be a fourth. Oh, look how low he ticks there.
He's got that Oracle behind though, so he'll be able to get healed up a decent chunk. He's also got Ring of Health already to be able to stay in pretty decently. But that gives space to Ramses, who almost actually has his Dominator finish. Pretty decent timing for him. And he's level 6 now, so this top lane, it's done pretty damn good. A lot, infinitely better than the last game.
The last game was an absolute disaster for Ramses and Roger, so it's nice to see them finally get a laning phase. Now, is that the second one that he's done?
Radiant's middle tower.
Yeah.
It's just being mean because they're not killing Beastmaster top, so Roger's feels some freedom to move around to set up for those. Really good stuff. Much better. Yeah, good stuff for Roger. Doesn't want to have 10 deaths again this game.
It's more fun to have an evenly balanced game than a stop for sure.
Yeah.
Be interested to see when we're going to start seeing rotations being made coming out. In fact, Toronto Tokyo is in this top area here. Is right underneath the ward, though. It's interesting that Ramses is continuing to just play so far up, considering that he does have the vision. Step forward here. Drag back with the taunt. To use the roar. Nothing comes of it. Roger throwing out the Shadow Poison. That's about all he can do. They do force out the TP now from Phoenix, which... Sure, if this is the play. Surprised that...
That's definitely weird.
Yeah, right? You have vision. You know that they're coming, and he's still stuck around that long. And, you know, yes, V-Tune should be fine here, but this Underlord is going to have the time of his life in this bottom lane now, when he doesn't have to worry about a Phoenix.
Yeah, they pulled both supports. I guess, I don't know who he brought. There must be some type of communication that was going on between them. But like Storm, he's jungling. He doesn't really want to TP right now or go anything like that. Morphling definitely never TPs up top. So the two supports, it's up to them. And yeah, they just, Shadow Demon, if he's there instantly, he can maybe get the disrupt and save. But Phoenix doesn't help much.
No.
Not a hero that TP'd.
And they're still up here. They've got the vision. They spot Ramses. They know he doesn't have the roar. It's a good save here from Roger for a little bit longer, but it's still going to end up with the dead Ramses, I have a feeling. Yes, it's another kill here for Toronto Tokyo.
2 successful rotations, even under vision.
They've had vision every time. It's strange that they, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Navi's definitely being a bit passive now. Just little slight mistakes. And now, Iceberg, he's continuing to jungle. Now he's looking to get involved bottom. Nice.
And that's a pickup on Collapse. So realizing that everyone's been hanging top, Iceberg makes the intelligent play to go bottom and try to get something out of that.
Yep, looks like he's farming a little bit of this stack here. He's actually going to leave the rest of it for V-Tune to finish off, and he'll have a good timing on that Orchid still. Him just jungling has worked out really well. His Beastmaster has been now significantly shut down. As I was mentioning, he almost had the Dominator earlier. He still almost has the Dominator now because of those 2 deaths, so that hurts quite a lot for Ramses.
Get the Water Boy service here from Maposhka as they'll fill up the bottle there for Toronto Tokyo. I love the way that they're playing around the map, though, on the side of TSpirit. I like the way they're being very, very aggressive.
Very aggressive, and even when they do have downtime, look at this. Double stack from Mira, setting up his troll for success later on when he has Battle Fury. A stack from the Oracle, too, so they're not wasting any time. They're always making some type of pressure move or some type of play. Na'Vi right now, they're kind of just chilling. Roger as well as always want to fly. Now have hit 6, so maybe they want to go try to set up some type of play. And I believe that is the Dominator now.
Is there anything more beautiful than efficient Dota 2 playing? You gotta love it.
When no one's wasting time, because there's always something better that you can do in Dota, right? So it's just miraculous when you get to see people not wasting even a heartbeat. As we see the smoke in mid, maybe playing around the 12-minute rune, it looks like this time around. And Na'Vi looking to try to pressure top, but let's see who gets hit.
I'm waiting for Roger to show up and do his normal shenanigans and then just be completely surprised. But Iceberg, the jump forward though. Toronto Tokyo is gonna get dragged back. Are they gonna be able to keep him alive just a little bit longer? Yes, he's gonna be just fine. Sunray coming in, it saves them for just a little bit, but they have the nuke. The roar's gonna come out as well here, as they're gonna have to go in for the egg. Mira will fall. But at the end of the day, that's an egg, and they've lost their mid laner here. Only for a support.
Egg and a roar. They actually had to use both.
Yeah.
I think always want to fly, maybe just panicking a little bit there, but a very precise hit from Spirit and very appropriate one as they make space for the troll. V-Tune's still farming, but Iceberg does finally get taken out, and that's right before he had Orchid finish. That's a very precise kill.
They look like professional hitmen there. It is very nice.
Another kill. I mean, Spirit, like, not missing a beat. Every single one of these plays working out really well. We still do have V-Tune having a very good game. He's been enabled quite nicely, and he's actually able to apply some pressure on towers now here. But, yeah, that was a good one, and now they're able to actually hit the bottom tower too, and that should pretty much finish up the Battle Fury for Yotaro. So he has a lot of farm, and he'll have a lot of stacks to work on right afterwards to enable himself even more.
Well, when you work hard and you get your work done, you take down the towers, sometimes you get these nice treats, like a nice stack from your supports,
Yeah.
Gotta work hard, guys.
He's standing behind the tower, continues to get the push going. Them right now.
Look at this.
Trying to pressure a little more though because of that cooldown, as we said. The roar and that egg being down. Really trying to get these 2 towers.
Look at the way they're playing too. Like they're trying to stick over in the tree line here. They are going to get nicked down by the Sunray. Always want to fly, so they'll clear it up for now. But I have a feeling they will be returning soon as Ramses brings his entire zoo over into the mid lane and wants to do a bit of D push. I will say that V-Tune has, as before, has been doing a stand-up job and just making sure that he finds farm around the map, even though the rest of his team is struggling a bit to make that space for him.
He always does seem to. no matter what the game state is. Even last game, right, in the AM, he's 2-1. It feels bad, but he did his job. He actually did do everything he could do that game.
He kept up and farmed. Just the rest of his team fell too far behind that game.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, it just felt like an impossible AM game once all things started to pick up the pace. This time does not really feel that much of an impossible Morphling game. Still going to be quite a task for him, but look at this, farming these Ancients nicely, so he'll be able to match Toro, who has Battle Fury. He'll now his Ancients. He's going to get that mid tower, that big one here.
Yeah, they're taking a lot of the available real estate here on the map over here on the side of TSpirit. And with that Battle Fury done, we should be seeing Yatoro really start to escalate with this farm.
Yeah, and they're getting farm on everybody. That's the important thing that we see. I even see Mira. He's taking a good amount of farm on himself because he wants to get a vessel at a decent timing versus the Phoenix, versus the Morphling, of course. Very beneficial if he's able to get that farm. So everyone, they're still just kind of chilling with this game state. Not really looking for any big fight. If it comes to them, they'll take it, but not fully hunting for it just yet.
I like the vision that they placed up over here on the side of TSpirit into the bottom part of the woods here on Radiant's side. Be able to keep nice tabs, might be able to get some sort of a pick off as well, because someone's going to be jumping in and defending that tower.
Yeah, I like that they doubled it, right? Like, you sometimes only see like the one ward. The fact that they put two, it's definitely really nice.
Gives you a lot of information.
Yeah, exactly. You get information from both avenues, so you're always covered. I see Collapse going for this pipe. I saw he had Atos queued up. I'm actually glad he switched it up. I look at Na'Vi and it's like everything is just magic damage, and it's not much actual control. So he'll be able to get the pipe off. It's gonna do significant damage for its Na'Vi draft.
He's a big tanky lad too, that Underlord. Be able to do a lot of front lining here.
Yeah, I want him to do pipe like Solar Crest. They have to get a Solar Crest buyer on their team. It's the best item in the patch, it feels like, as Ramsey is farming very aggressively.
Yeah, he is dead here. They're trying to get his helm down creep too. The tomato. It's like it might be able to survive, but
looks to go space. As they're attempting for a Roshan with that, with the DD Morphling. They should be able to get this one for free. It's dying very quick because of that DD.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they have any idea that they're in the pit right now, actually. And no one on the side of TSpirit is in position. So this is exactly what Na'Vi wants to do here.
Ramses will tell you is on purpose that he died. He drew their attention so that they can secure.
It's about confidence too, right? It's about, confidently saying, yeah, I meant to do that, and just going right back in again.
More stacks, stack gaming, both sides. We see Radiant, Na'Vi, Roger stacking up. Actually, I think the triple stack. Oh, he missed the triple. I got the double though, and we have 17-minute mark, so new neutral items as well. Spirit's still trying to play around their wards. Get one new neutral.
Nice.
Ooh, a nice one for V-Tune. Shawl.
Hard at work on that Scotty as well.
Yeah, not sure why short. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
One of those items is crazy, but...
Is a dead always want to fly. It does have the cursed crown. I'm not sure if they're going to leap after him here, though. So it looks like he's going to be just fine.
Long jump. Nice break.
I'm a little surprised that he's trying to make this play on a tanky Underlord with a pipe. Leap forward here, Toronto, Tokyo. Will be able to find himself at least one. Oh, nice play there by Ramses, throwing that creep over to tank it. Yatoro needs to be careful here. They do get a nice spear off. We'll push back the Morphling, and they get the heal over onto Yatoro. Again, another root's going to get thrown back. Roar's going to get used as well. For the rest of the team to leap forward here. Yatoro, he has his ultimate, though. He's going to go right back in again. The Aegis does go down. Iceberg will fall. Notcher next to fall as well. Yatoro just chasing after everyone that he possibly can, but over back on the side. V-Tune does manage to finally get the hit over onto Yatoro. Nice pit of malice, though, coming out again from Collapse, holding them into place. They've got the Curse Crown here over onto V-Tune. The drawback over onto Ramses. It should be the next victim on the side of TSpirit. They still are chasing after V-Tune, but he navigates the brambles very nicely, so he is going to be able to walk away from this. They end up losing the Aegis, and they end up losing the Troll as well.
Great positioning from Spirit in the fight. I love watching the way that the supports played there. They saw the way they identified the fight too, right? Still low on mana, they just full out aggression to try to catch him. Nice play from V-Tune, switching between the Underlord a lot there. We're seeing them extra pits, extra firestorms coming out. in the lines there. But yeah, Spirit, these two supports just sat in the back and got everything off. Not a single spell really hit them.
Wish fulfilled.
Well, again, it did feel a little confusing to see the initiation coming out onto the Underlord. Not usually the target you want to go after. Nice play there again with the creep. But look at the positioning of the supports.
Yeah, they're just all the way on the right side. We're going to see it like the entirety of this here. Instant reset. The Demonic Purge we see exactly what the panel was talking about. If it can be, they threw a salve, they threw an urn on him to try to save him. It all gets dispelled. But he does get the ult off, the most important thing for his team, because of all this positioning. Just playing on that right side together, avoiding the egg. Just, yeah, great synergy. They're killing it.
Looks like they might be killing something else here, too. Go hold the Phoenix into place with the root. And Cursed Crown, Maposhka will get the final hit. Ooh, Ramses now gets spotted here by Yatro. Uses the roar. Hangs around a little bit. I think he was thinking maybe some teammates might be coming around, but hightails it out of there.
Is under attack.
Now no roar for 80 seconds. It's a pretty long one. Continue to make these aggressive moves.
Yeah.
Spirit continuing to do a really good job this game. Still not a massive lead. V-Tune still having this good game, but they are really shutting down the Beastmaster a lot this time around too. And the Storm, his Orchid timing, it hasn't really found much of anything with these 1-3-1.
Oh, the zip. Yeah, it's like, look at these Power Ranger TPs coming out. Toronto Tokyo is going to survive as they fall with a beautiful pit of mouse. Iceberg is forced to run away. They're going to try to root him into place, try to get that hands on them, but they're not going to be able to quite do it as V-Tune turns himself into the Void Spirit. And they're going to back off. They did force so many TPs after they jumped on Toronto Tokyo.
That was close. They used the Purge too, so he tried to like Eul's himself in the air to get rid of the Orchid. He drops down immediately, but is able to get away. Iceberg though. Fine. Pickoffs, and they are playing versus some good pickoffs. You know, there's a Hawk, there's this Storm Spirit. There's a lot of different ways that they can just get sniped out, but playing together.
Yeah, it is nice to see the two supports usually rolling with at least +1 at any given time. In fact, we've got 4 over here as they intrude the jungle, or invade rather. Yatro leading the charge now. Gonna clean up some of these creeps here. Easy peasy.
Not the easiest initiation without the Void Spirit. Toronto Tokyo, he's playing around the runes. It'll spawn bottom. It's a nice one. It's an arcane.
That's a nice little treat. We do get the Atos completed too now for the Underlord, so Collapse is going to be even more difficult to get away from.
That's going to be nice. Now they actually do have a form of catch without the Void Spirit there in some situations. As Tokyo's getting close to his Ags too, and he also found himself a Nether Shawl, just like the Morphling did. So his impact is going to be really high in the fights. At least, as we said, V-Tune, he at least has his own to at least counteract a lot of that magic damage, and it really is like the best item in the game. There's no downside. You know, -3 armor, who cares?
Look at the way they're playing down here too. They're just waiting and baiting.
Radiant's bottom
over and over again here from the side of Team Spirit. BKB on Yatoro. He's feeling very safe now.
Dire's top tower.
Almost got the axe completed too. They just needed like 100 more gold over on Toronto Tokyo.
And they've got Vessel too, so I think it's fight time for Team Spirit. When that Axe does come out on the Void Spirit, I think they are pretty ready to battle. V-Tune's still quite large though. He finishes up his Scotty too, so he has a good opportunity to be able to fight. And Iceberg has BKB, so both sides have kind of hit a pretty big item timing for themselves.
Is it a matter of who gets the jump on who first here?
It is pretty massive. We're going to be watching how well the supports are positioned on Spirit, because there's a lot of ways to get on top of them. Now with the Storm with BKB and the Morphling being so fat, I think it's going to be a bit harder for Spirit to get that position.
I think it's also going to be very important, the positioning of that egg during the fight as well. If they can get a good egg off, I think in the V, it's going to be even nicer for them. but they seem like a lot of the times they jump onto the, you know, I talked about them jumping onto the Shadow Demon, but they jump onto the Phoenix a lot of the times, and he kind of gets caught out where he's not able to get these nice eggs off. If he does get the egg off, it's mostly trying to save himself or to put out a little bit more damage, not necessarily trying to make things, you know, happen with it.
Yeah. We'll see. It's really going to be up to, you know, it's the battle of the spirits, as I feel like we've said for a couple patches now. It's who gets the better jump in the backline. The double silence on Void Spirit with Arcane Rune, it could be something that just, you know, breaks the team fight. It could just be something that's too strong that they can't deal with if they don't actually find him at the start. So, yeah, there's a lot of different potentials. High ground is going to be a big thing that both teams are looking for right now for this fight.
Well, they've smoked up over on the side of Na'Vi, and they've placed themselves behind V-Tune. Doesn't seem like TSpirit is quite taking that bait just yet.
They don't have anyone going. So as you said, the Atos was built on Collapse, so no Solar Crest. That's going to be a bit of a painful thing for that troll. Where they're on the other side, we do have a Solar Crest. It is done on the Beastmaster. So that's going to be a Morph who's really buffed up. He has Inner Beast. He's got all these different elements, just making it stronger in the fights.
Smoke has run out over on the side here.
Regen. Iceberg wants it. Another big rune. So Arcane Rune versus Regen Rune. Which one wins out?
I think the Arcane Rune, right? Unless you can purge it off.
I think so.
Because you can cancel out a Regen Rune very easily. Still, it's nice to get a little present in the river. But Spirit feels like they're just maybe not necessarily dodging, but they're just moving around the map and predicting the way that Na'Vi wants to chase after them. Smoke comes out,
they definitely want to fight, though. With that Arcane Rune, they definitely want to look for this battle. Can they catch something here? It looks like it's
Ramses. Yeah, he happens to be the most forward person here, and he's going to get obliterated.
Jeez, they just tip him immediately. Mira's a bull.
Oh, no, I saw some tips coming out the other day, too.
Everyone's having fun with them. They're always good. They're always in good jest.
Why don't we ever see wholesome? I mean, we see a couple wholesome tips, right? I think I've seen GH put out the wholesome tip every once in a while.
Well, I think, what was it? Not yesterday, the day before. We had the teams like saying like, "Good luck, 1-1 now." Like they were like actively talking to each other about like the score of the game and stuff like that. It was fun.
Well, that's nice.
Clearly just like friends for a long time or something like that.
I like to see it, unless you're in NA where they know each other for a long time and they still just razz on each other. The Fear was getting wound up here by Mira, but the BKB comes out from Iceberg. He's gonna zip forward. Already though, he just throws himself into the Shadow Realm. They're not gonna be able to get anything, and that is a BKB down, Fog. They can make something happen off of this now.
He panicked a little bit. He walked into the bramble and then he's like, oh my god, like if I get connected by a Fear, I'm just dead. So instantly BKB's like, bam, right into Roche, TSpirit. They're not hesitating at all when that BKB charge is wasted.
I want to see a Solar Crest though, like you said. It's just such a good game. Like, again, not even just a good game, it's just such a good item period right now. Seems odd that we haven't seen it picked up at all. Be careful because they're looking to fight this. Roche, less than half health here. Bash over onto the troll. Flame Spirit's coming out as well. They've got the pipe. BKB out over here, over onto Yatoro. He wants to finish this up, and there it is. The jump forward is still not going to be enough. It's going to be the Aegis going over to Yatoro as he just keeps trying. Look at this fighting going through, but he does eventually get stunned up, and the Sunray is doing so much damage onto the backline. They try to zip over to Maposhka. They're not going to be able to quite grab him in time. Now Maposhka forced to use his ultimate on himself. They turn around though, and they manage to go and just root this poor Morphling into place. Disarmed though, coming out over here onto the troll, but they're still just chonking away over here onto Morphling. They control him so well that perhaps just a little bit too late coming out of Ramses, because now he's just getting hunted. Toronto, Tokyo, jumping over on the high ground. Oh, and right at the end of the Pit of Malice, right on the edge, they take down Ramses.
So great fights coming up from Spirit. They force this like panic play from Na'Vi to egg and everything around the pit so they can maybe secure something. But Yatoro, I believe he got, let's see who actually got the cheese, but he got the shard, he got the Aegis, he got what he came for. And I mean, V-Tune, the control that they get on him, this Atos heavily paying off the pits. It's too much for him. He was strength morphed very early on, all the way up. Doesn't do any damage there.
It took so much to take him down. Again, you see that BKB coming out from Yatoro fairly early. He wants to ensure there's the hit. Snaps up that Aegis as fast as possible.
He almost died right there and then. Like, it was actually quite close to him. Oh,
he had the cheese.
Okay, he used it there. That's what I thought. I thought something happened there because he looked full healed up. But what a fight.
Whoa.
Just nice, good positioning.
Brick forcing out that BKB. He's going to teleport out. Should be absolutely fine here. They don't have any way to cancel it out just yet. But double damage.
Again. He keeps having to just like use his BKBs defensively and get out. He's not able to get like any kills. The TSpirit is... They're taking these fights so well. These two supports, every single time, they're getting so many rounds of spells off. Everybody's doing their job perfectly. I'll be falling apart a bit. It's 13-4 with a 9k lead.
Definitely feels a bit tough here, but everybody's getting into the car because they want to go and make some moves here on the bottom lane. Ramses, though, buys a bit more time. The rest of the team is nearby, but I don't think they were expecting that Yatoro and Miposhka would be here. So now V-Tune forced to just... Well, no, he turns back around, gets the kill onto Miposhka.
This time he's able to get at least one of the pickoffs. He does get the Orchid off, but again, Ramsey's getting grabbed. And who'd they actually give? I think they gave the shard to the Willow.
Yes.
Okay, they did.
So
I actually thought there was a good chance that Yatoro takes it himself because of the attack speed that you can use versus Egg on the Rampage. It's actually pretty nice, but maybe he just thinks that it's more beneficial to have on that Willow overall in the general.
It's more lockdown, right? It's more lockdown. It's very... I don't think you really can step around the brambles because they're so close together after the Cursed Crown proc.
It's annoying.
It's pretty tight.
It's more roots, more control that V2 doesn't have a BKB for.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many little things like these pits and these roots and everything that he is dealing with. And he actually has to go for BKB now because of it. Toronto, Tokyo.
There is nothing for you.
Easy kill.
Yeah, that Phoenix just can't be alone on the map at this point. He's just going to get hunted no matter what.
Ooh, and he's actually, okay, he's gone for the Spell Amp talent too now, too. That is going to be so much damage coming out from him. He's also going to Sange and Kaya. That's going to be nice.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Let's clean up here on the top lane, finish off the tier 1, and the rest of TSpirit rolling pretty closely together, aside from this Void Spirit here.
Now they have a Lotus Orb too on Collapse. He has gone for the Solar, but Lotus is one of the best items in the game as well, and will be until it does get changed because it's so effective in every type of situation, either removing silences, reflecting spells, whatnot. So many different ways now to protect Yatoro. And Miposhka, he's actually gotten himself a luxury item. He has a Blink now, so he has a good way to be able to hide in the backlines even more than him and Mira have already done so successfully this game.
And his position has already been so excellent. On the bright side, though, for the side of Navi, we do have the BKB completed now for Morphling, so it's going to be a lot harder for them to control him. My only concern is just, do they have the damage to take down the other side? Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, that's how I feel, too.
I'm glad I'm not the only one wondering this.
It's going to be hard. Tokyo is going to do so much in these fights. Look, it's Arcane Rune, Sange and Kaya, Spell Amp too. I actually can't even do the math on how much she's going to be doing in all this, but it's a lot. 400 damage per Resonant Pulse.
Got a completed Bloodthorn up and running too over on the Troll.
It actually is so effective this game because he's playing versus these double heroes that are so reliant on mobility, right? The Morphling and the Storm. A lot of times maybe you'll see like the Basher is effective, but Silence is so good versus these two. Yeah, I like it.
Aegis does get reclaimed during this, but it feels like TSpirit, they feel like they're very strong right now. Throwing out, we'll be able to go. They'll hold the Phoenix into the place here. Nice disruption, buys a little bit more time. Lotus is on here, but the BKB coming out now from Yatoro. They just slice up Always Want to Fly. He's not going to be able to get an egg off. V-Tune already just waveforms himself out. They don't want to fight in that particular area, but they do buy back on Always Want to Fly.
He has no way to protect himself either. He's still so far from his Yules. He actually was close to it there, but these Resonant Pulses, these Silences, it's extremely effective.
Okay, V-Tune immediately turns himself into Collapse. There's that Lotus or BKB over onto Iceberg, but it doesn't seem to be really helping them out much at all because they already just killed Always Want to Fly. He bought back. Roger is next to fall. As they're chasing after Ramses here, they need to just try to hold him into place. Forcing out the BKB. The root gonna come out though again, and they have the Bloodthorn now as they're just trying to slice through V-Tune. He's gonna get rooted again, the slow. They've got the Lotus up and running. Roar's gonna come out from Ramses. He buys V-Tune a little bit more time. Toronto Tokyo though, he's hungry. He's going very far here as Iceberg zips out. Wants to try to punish them for this, but again, these roots coming out from Collapse, they're just too good. The draw back in again, they'll get the kill on Iceberg.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Feels over. Navi can't fight. They just have to spend the entire duration of the fight running away, and Toronto Tokyo just jumps in and assassin. Any evil reaction.
He is a professional hitman. He gets the kill on Ramses, and now V2 is again forced to waveform around. The step forward from Toronto Tokyo. He wants this kill. They throw out the whip. The disruption buys just a hair more time, but it doesn't matter. Down goes V2. GG gets called, and TSpirit are gonna 2-0 this series.
Wow. And in very clean fashion. Like, I'm very impressed with the way that they played around the map. Like, maybe it was a little bit on, Navi not looking the hottest at all, but Ramsey's getting picked off a ton in this game again. 0 and 8 on the Beastmaster, but damn, some precise movements and precise hits. I'm loving it. Toronto Tokyo absolutely killing it this game on the Void Spirit. And that's got to feel good too. And you're able to do it like this versus Navi. Like, after Iceberg plays it the last game and that's such a rough one, then you come back and you show him how it's done. Like, that's got to feel really good for this team. That's good stuff. I love seeing them playing so confident.
And I know that there's been a lot of criticism going out towards the side of Navi here, but I have to say, a lot of it is just the way TSpirit played. They played it so cleanly, so by the book. It was really, really nice Dota to take a look at. And, when you add in another person to a roster, it takes some time to kind of get everything to click again. We saw that in some of the other regions. Some of the other teams have picked up different people.